Hey guys, Janice Parker coming at you, and today I wanted to talk to you about the C's and the P's of being successful in business, and not just business, actually, in anything that you are looking to be successful at. So the C's and the P's. All right, the C's would be, the first one would be consistency. One of them would be constant, and one would be courageous. And so I'm just going to start with courageous, and I'm going to work my way back. Courageous, because guys, in order to be successful at anything, and I apologize, there's an airplane going over, but in order to be successful at anything, you first must be courageous. Like you've gotta just do it anyway. Now, I want you to understand that anything that you want, really want, life is going to kind of push back at you. It's going to test you to see, okay, is Janice serious, or is this just something she's just saying? Life is supposed to push back at you, but you've got to be courageous enough when the world tells you no, family tells you no, you tell you no. You've got to be courageous enough to understand and know that you were made for greatness. You are destined for greatness. It's just a matter of you stepping out there and being courageous enough to fight through the adversity, to go across mountains, through mountains, around mountains, over, under, whatever you got to do to get to your goal. What about constant? What do I mean by constant? Okay, so with the word constant, what I'm saying to you guys is this. You have to constantly be thinking about, constantly keep your mind right, constantly be, speaking the right things. It is so easy. It is so easy to beat up on ourselves. It is so easy to even allow something that somebody else says to you to resonate in your spirit. But this is one of the things I learned from Joel Osteen. And so this is where I'm kind of bringing this to you guys. What he says is this: when you say something, like if I say big black dog, you don't see the words big black dog. You see a big black dog in your mind's eye because your mind sees in pictures. And so what we have to be careful is that we constantly pour into our inner self, pour into us things that are positive. Like when we say, I am, successful and crossing the stage as the top producer in my company, what you see is the stage. Think about it. If you say that, what you see is the stage. If I say to you right now that you are being awarded, a $1 million check for achieving the top position in your company, and it's a 6-foot check, what do you see? Do you see the words? Or do you see yourself on stage getting a 6-foot check? And that's why we have to be constantly pouring in the right things, because conversely, if we say something different, we're going to see something different. In other words, if we say something negative, then we're going to see something negative. And then the last word is consistency. You have to, and this is where I had to fight the old Janice who wants to procrastinate, put stuff off, delay stuff. Tomorrow's fine. I had to put her off because here's the deal. We've got to be consistent. So whatever you decide that you're going to do, I'm going to make 10 calls a day. I'm going to get 5 people on a video per day. I'm going to get 3 people on a 3-way call per day. I'm going to set up 2 customers per day. Whatever it is, you set the goal. But what you've got to make sure you're doing is consistently going after those tasks to reach the end goal. Right? So you got to consistently go after those tasks. So those are your C's. You've got to be courageous. You've got to be constant, and you've got to be consistent. So what are the P's? Because I said this is going to be the C's and P's of success. The P's means that you have actually got to be passionate. You have got to be persistent, and you have got to be persuasive. So let's start with persuasive, right? Persuasive. And I don't mean you're out persuading people to do anything. I'm talking about you persuading you, because the only person that you've got to convince every day if you're going to win is you. The first and last person that Janice had to get together is her. I had to persuade me to be constant, to be courageous, to be consistent. I have to persuade me that I am the best, that I can achieve. You've got to do the same thing for you. You've got to persuade yourself to get up, make another phone call. And one of my mentor says is that motion brings emotion. So, you've got to actually, just pick up the phone, dial a number. Like, don't wait, don't think about it, mull over it. I remember times when I'd be looking at the phone like, they're probably eating dinner, and then around 7:30 I'm thinking, they're probably getting the kids ready for bed. And then around 9 I'm thinking, well, that you really shouldn't call people after 9. And so I never called the person. You've got to persuade yourself to do what you're supposed to do so that you can live the dream that you have in your mind's eye that you want for yourself. Passionate. The other P is passionate. Passionate. You have got to want this thing in your core. And I was at an amazing conference this past weekend, and one of the things that everybody always talks about is, what is your why? What is it that you want? You have to be able to see that thing. That thing has to be so entrenched in your spirit that if you don't get it, you're gonna cry. And when you do get it, you're gonna cry. You've got to know that you're hungry for this thing. You've got to go after it with everything you've got. And I will tell you, if you're just launching a business, just starting a new career, whatever it is, the first 2 to 5 years, you got to be in it to win it. Nothing stops you. You are not pulling back for anybody. And then lastly, guys, persistency. One of my mentors from back in the day, Mr. Britt, used to say consistency and persistency. You've got to persistently persuade yourself consistently or persistently, put the right things in your head. You have to persistently, go out and be consistent with your desires and your goals and your activities. You have to be persistently persuading yourself. You have to be persistently passionate. And if you combine all of these, the 3 C's and the 3 P's, there is nothing, absolutely nothing that will stop you from getting to the top. So now I am going to get my nails done because they're just like a little bit busted. But I wanted to pass that on to you guys because it's been in my spirit all day. I absolutely love you. I'll see you next time. Have a great evening.